Hey guys, it's Kimberly. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not going to use my earbuds this morning because you guys were all complaining about the sound last time, so I apologize for that. I was going in and out, holding them close and far away, so sorry about that. So I'm just going to speak loudly into the speaker. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I do feel well enough and feel up to giving you guys like an energy update with the Ascended Masters series. So for the Ascended Masters series, if you guys haven't followed it, if you're new to the channel, I actually have a playlist, and so you can go on the playlist and you can watch, the last, the previous week's Ascended Master series. What I do is I actually spend some time before I get on the video just sort of channeling Mother Mary, the Archangels, the Ascended Masters, and then we see what comes through. I do a bunch of automatic writing. We get several channeled messages, and then I usually segue right into a reading or card pull. So welcome back to the channel, you guys. I'm going to get to all of that in just a moment. I want to just say to you, I have been so overwhelmed with the massive amount of information and prayers, love, support. You guys, it's been amazing. And some of you, like Aluna's subscribers and Aluna's followers, I can't thank you enough. You're just stumbling upon me, some of you, and you've just been so kind and so unbelievably supportive. Your donations, I've clicked on every single email and I have seen what you have written. I've seen what you have given. It's going to take me a long time to be able to, reply to each and every one of you. But I just want to send a huge thank you to everybody. You guys are really amazing. And just a quick update on that. This week I was able to make a breakthrough in orchestrating some healing on my home turf. I'm still looking to go to a treatment center out of the country for a couple of weeks. But I still have to raise the funding for that. Still working on that. That's part of what your donations are for. But the other part of what the donations will go to is there's probably like 4 or 5 therapies that I feel very confident in. And I was trying to find a healer, like a integrative doctor or a healer or center that could do all 4 of them in one place, because my schedule is pretty crazy right now, trying to orchestrate all of the different healing sessions and doctor's appointments. And you guys, it's like insanity. It's having cancer is a full-time job, plus researching and clicking on your comments and reading your suggestions. It's just been completely overwhelming for me. It's taken a lot of energy, and I really want to segue out of that and into a more definitive space where I can seek out the treatment that I already know is going to be helpful for me. So the good news is I found an integrative doctor who does these 4 therapies all in one place, and it's about an hour and 45 minutes from me, so I can drive, and I'll probably be going there 2 or 3 times a week. It's not cheap, but it's going to be worth it, and I'll be applying a good bulk of your donations towards these therapies. And the other days of the week, I'll be working with my hypnotherapists, my shamanic healers, and my energy workers. And I've got a limited number of appointments. I'm going to keep Mondays and Thursdays open if I don't have other obligations, for a couple of readings or maybe a couple of sessions. So if you guys do need a session with me and you want to book on the calendar, it should be okay, either on a Monday or a Thursday, but that might change. So if you book a session and I have to change it, I apologize in advance. Just everything's crazy right now. And then depending on how much funding is raised, I might be able to go sometime in September or October to one of these centers to get a much deeper boost of healing. So I'm working on all of that. It's a lot. Plus I'm still planning my retreat, and you guys must think I'm crazy. How can you be going through stage 4 cancer? You're still doing your retreat, but my retreat is going to be amazing. It's going to be a huge healing experience for me. I can't wait to meet some of my audience members and my soul family in person. and it's just giving me something to look forward to. And that's the best thing you can possibly do, is just live, and just live and look forward and plan, and nothing's stopping me. So again, I love you guys, and I hope that you enjoy this reading. If anyone has questions, let me know. But again, it's probably going to be a while before I can respond to each of your emails. I've been trying to get to some of them, but I apologize. So, all right, so let's just see what comes through in the automatic writing. And I'm so excited to be doing this today and to feel like I wanted to carve out this space, and I have the bandwidth to do it. So, yeah, all right, so let's just see what comes. And by the way, you guys, if you want to book a session, if you want to, while I'm kind of on this sabbatical, like maybe working 2 days a week, so there's not many appointments available. If you want to learn from me or take my online courses, you can do so. There's a link right on my website to the online courses, and just go to spiritualmaterialgirl.com. You can donate, you can purchase my audio meditation, you can learn in the online forum with the courses. And there's many ways to still receive healing even when I'm not working actively in sessions that much, okay? All right, so let's just see. Okay. Oh, gosh, I love when this stuff comes up and it's totally random, but I hate when I have no reference of my own because they're talking about the morning glory flower being a symbol. And I'm literally recording this on my phone, so I can't look it up right now. I think the morning glory has like a bluish center. And so let's just see what they're going to tell me about this, and then you can actually look up the symbolism on your own as well, okay? So I'm guessing that the morning glory, and forgive me, I don't know much about this. I'm guessing that the morning glory is called morning glory because it opens in the morning. That's what I'm guessing. I really don't know. I think they have like a bluish center, if I recall correctly. But what they're saying is about using the time, and I know this is a message for me, to center in the morning. Some of you are morning people, some of you are not, but they're saying that like that is the most peaceful time. In nature, it begins at like there's a rest, there's a peacefulness, there's a calm buzz at 3 a.m. and from that time until about dawn, it's like the best time to use for your centering practices. So those of you who want to get more into like meditation or doing whatever ritual that feels right to you in the mornings, they're saying use the hours of 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. to do this. It's going to be huge for your, I think, energetic integration. And some of you aren't doing this now, and I'm guilty too. Like, I have a practice that I'm doing, and I have to train myself not to go on the computer first, to go and sit in my meditation space and do the breathing. And so this is just a message for that. I also feel like it's a message around, they're saying the word hope, and you guys know I have mixed emotions about the word hope, but they're saying the word hope, and it's hope, it's like a flourishing, it's an opening, it's a blooming, and I feel like this is related to areas of our life that we've not been able to flower. They're saying that using this time as like a visualization time, meditation, visualization, especially on the areas of our life that feel blocked, it will open and it will flower now. So think about maybe the areas in your life that have felt stuck or stagnant, and start to use that time in the morning to create rituals around visualization, meditation, specifically for those areas. where you're creating possibility, and where the possibility can like open and expand. Because even if you do that for 15 minutes each day, if you do that every day consistently, you're creating more possibility than doubt. And when you create more of something, that's going to create the response from the universe. If there's more love, more trust than there is doubt and fear, then you're going to get the return of that right back to you through the law of attraction. Okay, so you might say, oh, I can skip that today, or oh, I feel stupid doing that, or oh, I already did that last week. And they're saying, no, we kind of need to do it every day, and it's really important that you do it. I'm going to move this a little bit closer. Sorry, you guys. Okay. And I'm going to grab a chair too. Oops. Sorry, you guys are probably seeing all my retreat supplies on the floor. All right. So morning glory. So you guys might see morning glories in symbolism, like on memes on social media. You might see an image pop up on the web. You might pass by morning glories that are growing. It's a big symbol for the collective right now. It's reminding us about that centered time, especially in the morning, and about paying particular attention to honing in on the things that have felt blocked in our lives so that we can open and flower them, because they're not going to open and flower on their own. You have to create the possibility first. So you're creating possibility, and that starts within you. So that's starting with you. You create the possibility. Remember that. Everything you pull into you is created by you. Okay? I think a lot of times we attribute things that are created to the universe, but that's incorrect. The universe rises up to meet us. When we align with our higher self and we listen to that calling, which is like a divine calling, then the universe can really support us because it knows we're on the right track, right? It's going to guide us in the right way. It's going to respond to us quickly. So if you're listening to the messages of your higher self, you know, and that is going to feel like an open, like a very possible, hopeful avenue. Your higher self wants you to take the highest road. It wants you to navigate with ease. It wants you to be joyful. It wants you to you know, and that's kind of like with me, like sifting through all this information, you know, it finally got to the point where I was just like, I just need to pull back and really just listen to myself. What do I need? And then after like 2 weeks of making like endless phone calls and everything, it was just like, I just firmly decided what I needed. And boom, I found the person and the place, and it was easy and smooth and, easy to get in and easy to, it's just easy to orchestrate. And so remember, there's a sense of ease that comes when you are aligning with your higher self. It's going to go smoothly. It's going to go quickly. It's, you know, manifestation can be rapid. When we disobey the guidance of our higher self, that's when we end up on the tumultuous, you know, road. And that's okay though too, because in order to get the lesson, to listen to, you know, higher self, we got to experience some of those dips, right? To be able to hear that voice clearly. So if you're not listening, it's going to be like this. You're going to learn the lessons. You're going to go through that karmic cycle in challenges. And so you're still getting there, but you're just taking a longer, you know, like a bit more arduous journey to get there. I believe that we all have the guidance within ourselves, and perhaps that's why they're talking about morning glory and the morning being so important, to tap into the messages of your higher self. When we first wake up, we are the clearest. We are so clear because we've just spent, 6, 7, 8 hours, for some of you 10 hours, in our dream state, in a state where, you know, our conscious mind is not interfering, where, the subconscious mind can take over. And it's just like, it's an unbelievable, it's almost like a window of clarity when you first wake up. Do you guys ever wake up and like get that immediate guidance or immediate feeling, like the minute you like your toes touch the ground or you open your eyes, something pops into your head or some clarity comes. That's what that is. That is the clarity coming through in the absence of interference and fear. It's not to say that we don't sometimes play out our fears in our dreams, but for the most part, when you're waking up unfiltered. And there's a veil that gets lifted. And I would say it's, you guys look at 3 a.m. as maybe the witching hour because, the veil is thin. But 3 a.m., nature is also very calm and still. And yes, the veil is lifted and you are closer. And when you're waking up between those hours of 3 to 6 to meditate and listen to your higher self, you're going to be tapped in. Make notes, journal, pay attention, observe, listen to what comes during that time. Carve out the time to do this. I really feel passionately that that's going to be a good practice, not just for myself, but for all of you going through this awakening ascension journey. All right. Let's see what else comes. So this, these readings are not just for twin flames, they're for anyone that's catching this video. And sometimes I do get twin flame guidance. And just a second ago, they were flashing the twin flames to me, but I don't know exactly what's going to come through next. So let's just see. My pen's running out. So they're talking about an intertwining, specifically for the twins, they want you to understand, twin flames, that when you are looking into the twin flame mirror, or you're in a soul connection in which these triggers are coming up, runner, chaser, there's these types of dynamics. What's really happening at a higher level is that there's an intertwining of the bloodlines and the clearing of the ancestral imbalances and ancestral karma. So basically, it's not just you, it's not just your personality and your twin flame's personality clashing or triggering or pushing or mirroring. It's basically it's like your whole bloodline that's coming together to clear this. So you are the representative of that. So you're like, hi, I signed up to do this. And your twin is the same. Your twin is the same representative for their bloodline. So you're like, hi, it's me. Hi, I'm here. Let's do this. And then it's like an explosion. And the reason why is because that's not easy. I mean, you're clearing for generations. You're clearing for, and you're also clearing and healing past life karma. But I really feel like what they want to show us is around the ancestral imbalances, ancestral DNA. So ancestral is, sorry, I misspoke. Ancestral is a couple of things. Ancestral is inherited beliefs. So those are the things that we heard growing up that trickled down the bloodline, that became our beliefs, or that we were subject to the ancestral programming. And then there's the portion that's physically in our DNA, right? That comes literally through the bloodline. So there's two aspects of ancestral healing. There's looking at the beliefs, and then there's looking at what's come down the bloodline. Okay, so when twins come together, they're actually clearing both aspects, what's been ingrained in their blood through generation after generation, and then also the beliefs, the programming, the heavy, heavy programming that they're starting to shed and shift. And so this is not an easy process, and this is, a big piece of this dynamic. And what what holds true for all twins and everyone across the board, really, everybody in the human race, is that the programming and this, what comes through the DNA, it all stems from our wounding. And it also, like, even if it's, so our fear are the roots of our fear. Like I teach this, you guys, is our child wounding, the ancestral imbalances, and past life karma. Okay, so those are the 3 roots of fear. And that's what keeps you from union within yourself and within the connections. And that's what keeps you from forgiveness. We can't forgive from a place of like a cognitive intellectual understanding. We must forgive by eradicating, dissolving the fear. So that takes some deep, deep healing, as you guys know. So, in releasing and understanding. The understanding is the second part. I feel like the owning your pain, the doing the actual work to understand where stuff comes from and emotionally process it at a deep level is how you're going to be able to shift into a place of alignment, like where there's like alignment coming right through you to source. You can see sources up there. And so when you start to heal all this stuff and you find that alignment, then you're starting to make the shift from fear to love. And I mean, that's what ascension is. That's what healing is. That's what everything in the universe is. It's like in the healing, in the awakening, in the raising our consciousness, all we're doing is we're shifting from fear to love. You guys who have been on my website, you probably see that written everywhere, all over my website. And there's only 3 or 4 aspects. We can have also societal programming. So I always say like there's about 4 aspects. It could be societal or cultural programming. But what I want to tell you is like a lot of stuff that trickles down through the bloodline, like let's say through your mom's side or your dad's side, it's stemming from not just their programming, their ancestral, wounds and what's passed down to them and their past life karma and their programming, cultural program, but it's coming from their wounds. So they're passing their wounds onto you. Quite often I see, and even in my own life, I have seen that in the bloodline, quite often there's a repeat at the same age. So for example, let's say like your father, like my father, both his parents died between the ages of 12 and 14. And it was through my own healing and delving into, I realized that the majority of my wounding, like when my parents abandoned me, when they couldn't deal with my emotionality, my puberty and all of that, it was the same age. I was between the ages of 12 and 14. And it was something my dad couldn't handle looking at. He couldn't handle seeing. It was too much for him because at that age, he was told, suck it up. I don't think he got the opportunity to emotionally process the way that he needed to. So therefore, he could not extend that compassion and love to me. And I felt abandoned, rejected, betrayed for various reasons through my wounding. So do you see how like there's like almost exactly the same ages? So even though it wasn't the same wound, like his parents died and he was kind of like, that was his lot in life, like that was fated. But like for me, my parents abandoned me and left me, rejected me. At that age. And it was because they had their blinders on for various reasons, both of them. But for my dad, because he didn't know how to deal with that emotionality. And there was a lot of transference of his expectations. He had expectations of me to, I think, be like him, to just be non-emotional and just carry on and kind of be the man and kind of be the, and I wasn't that. I was a highly sensitive, intuitive little girl, and it created a lot of clash between us. So there were born new resentments of me towards him, right? So you can trace this back probably several generations where maybe the ages of 12 to 14 were pivotal, where the wounding gets passed down, not just the ancestral beliefs and karma, but like where the actual wounding gets passed down and recreated in like a new way. It's very interesting, and I only can speak to this because I've worked with hundreds and thousands of people in my practice, and I see these patterns, and it's not something I've read about. It's just something that I've observed through myself and my clients. So anyhow, I think they're showing us this so that you can understand this better and maybe dig in and do some ancestral work and some, deeper healing around your own wounding and understand how that all connects to the whole in your bloodline. And also, I think understanding the soul contracts is like a huge piece of like understanding why you're here and what your purpose is, and giving yourself a pat on the back and understanding like what amazing work you are all doing in just navigating this awakening journey. I think I'm getting a low battery warning. Okay. So they want to talk about one more thing. I see something coming through and it feels like an animal, but I'm going to grab a new pen. Bear with me. All right, so they're definitely there's an animal coming through. Let's see. They just keep showing me the tiger. I'm not going to try to draw it because that would be god awful. I can't draw with dry erase markers. So, but I would recommend, if you don't see images of tigers in your world, maybe call up an image of a tiger's face. They're particularly showing me the face of the tiger and the fearlessness of the eyes. They're talking about the tiger being like our companion right now. It is around courage and strength, loyalty. Okay, I get it. I understand. They're talking about the tiger around this loyalty. Okay. They're saying you have to be more fierce with yourself. And inviting in the circle of people who are worthy of your loyalty. So I'm not saying that in a tone of, breeding separation. I'm not saying like, okay, so we keep out the rest. No. What I'm saying is, this is like the notion of like self-love and then being able to give to others. But what they're really talking about is being fiercely loyal with yourself, and then inviting in through your soul tribe, your soul family, those who they're talking about a reciprocity, like those who can give and take the same way that you can give and take, where there's not an imbalance. And it's really important for our health, our well-being, for our growth, our expansion, to call this in. It doesn't mean that anyone else, like those who are not, worthy of our loyalty and that we don't give love. We want to still give love to all, and compassion and understanding. But what they're talking about is like creating your inner circle, creating your soul group, creating your soul family in this lifetime. And that like, first you got to start by being fiercely loyal with yourself. And then you're going to be able to call in the soul family, and make sure that that you do a good job in the discernment of that. All right. And the tiger energy is going to help you do that. So if you're wondering if you can trust someone, or if you're getting a weird read on someone's energy, go back to being fiercely loyal to yourself and ask, is this in alignment for me? Okay. All right. So that's that message. I feel like we're maybe going to see, I don't know. I feel like we're going to see the tiger or something in the reading, or something's going to come up. So let's just see. All right, so we'll go over to, sometimes you guys, I get specific messages from the masters. And I know who's speaking, who's telling us what. Sometimes that just comes through in the cards. So let's shuffle the cards and pull from the Archangels and Ascended Masters deck. I have goosebumps but like as I'm shuffling these. So, all right, so Archangel Gabriel, it's time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. So this is a big message this week. And this could be like the tiger too. Being fiercely loyal to yourself, having courage, being fearless, and stepping up and stepping out into your gifts and being willing to show that, taking the initiative, pioneering, even pioneering via your vulnerability is going to be huge. Some of you think like, I have to be all healed before I teach or before, no, you don't. You don't. You pioneer through sharing your vulnerability and sharing what you know and what you're learning and what your innate gifts are before you're ever there. There's no perfect time to share your gifts, okay? But there's always a good time to study and keen up your gifts. But I think many of you are ready to step into pioneering and leading, showing yourself more. And this very much goes in line with my last reading. Some of you didn't like that earthquake analogy, but it is how they showed it to me. And I feel like there's probably 40% of the collective that's going through that, where something's being shook up in the work front, and it's like put in a very positive way. It's not like an earthquake that you can't handle. It's an earthquake that's coming through so that you're able to reestablish on new ground, and it's more solid in your own power, where you're on a more authentic path. And I feel for many of you, you're going to be leading in that path, starting your own businesses, moving into heart-centered businesses, motivating others, leading others, healing others, helping others. We need you, okay? There can't be an oversaturation of healers on the planet. Every healer, every teacher offers something unique, and you're going to gravitate and resonate with those who feel right for you. And those people who come to you for healing and for mentorship, they'll be in perfect alignment as well. So we're seeing indigo and crystal children. It's Archangel Metatron. It says you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. So several months ago in this series, this card was coming up. Twice, I think it came up. And I called out that there was a little girl in someone's life. And I know many of you, there's probably like 10 of you responded to me and said, yes, that's me. What I was getting at the time was this little girl, it felt feminine, or a little boy, but it felt like more of a feminine energy, was a mirror for you. And was reflecting back something about your unhealed child or your innocence that needed to be recognized and integrated within yourself. So the message that I get today is there's a lot of healing coming up around, like, I want to say like elementary school days. I feel like a lot of people are having flashbacks of their childhood, and not just pertaining to their familial dynamics, which are huge in identifying our childhood wounding, but in looking at our dynamics in our interactions with other children when we were a child. Think about that. Think about how you connected with other children, how you felt different, how you felt outcast, how you did fit in, how you didn't fit in, how you felt in that arena. Now, think about how you feel about this community and your soul tribe and others that are in this community. It should feel different. It should feel like you're safe, secure, protected, like there's a match energetically. And there's just a reminder, like, we are all children of God. And being around children right now might remind us of some of those pieces within ourselves. Especially, they're showing me the way children interact with other children. So a lot of times when we do these readings, when we see children, we talk about like childhood wounding, and that's very important, you know, especially how it went down with our families. But for this reading, the message I'm getting is pay attention to how children interact with other children. What did that mean for you as a child? What does it mean for you now in calling in your soul tribe, in connecting with others, in integrating your innocence and your divinity into your adult self, your whole self? How does that come into play? I feel like there's a lot of food for thought here if we just kind of think about it and observe. So if you have the opportunity to observe children, go to a park, sit down and watch children play on the playground. Think about your childhood. Think about your upbringing. Think about what they're reflecting back to you. This can be a very, very healing exercise. Okay, and that's what they want us to know. See, I have goosebumps. Remember who you are. Archangel Michael, he's saying you are a powerful, loving, creative child of God. Oh my God, did I not just say that? You guys rewind the video. I said that. We're being reminded that we are children of God. I have goosebumps. You see my hair standing up? You are very loved, and that's what they are reminding us. That is the message. And so that is a beautiful message. All right, so let's go over to the bottom of this deck is chakra clearing, and it's Metatron again saying call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. There's all sorts of ways that we can clear and open our chakras. The way that I've been using during my healing, the things that I've been doing have incorporated sacred geometry and all of that, but primarily it's been breathing and oming and sound healing. And oh, you guys, I'm holding a prayer circle on Monday, August 19th. It's just a day away. If you want that information, get on my email list, or I'm going to send out the email pretty soon. So if you miss it, you can email me, I guess. But I am holding a prayer circle. I'm going to do a little bit of sound healing in that, and then we're going to pray. And I'm going to have you guys send positive energy my way, and we're going to exchange healing energy with one another. And I just feel like it would be a good way to connect at this time, considering what I'm going through, but also because I feel like we all need it. And there's some things I want to share with you in a more intimate setting around how we clear the chakras. I want to actually demonstrate, show to you some of the things that I do with my breathing and sound healing now that are helping me a lot. So please join us if you can. And now moving over to the Angel Therapy deck. So manifestation power came up in reverse like this. So they're just reminding you to use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome, which is a lot of, you know, what's coming through here, being who you truly are, stepping into that authenticity. But I think at the beginning when I was doing the channel writing, that's what they were talking about, like setting up your intention to manifest, opening, right? Flowering, flourishing, manifesting the things that have been blocked perhaps. And I think by going more into who you really are, remembering your divine child, and it's going to enable you to lead and manifest in a new way. And one that's much more balanced. Like when we talk about leading from that authentic self, that childlike enthusiasm and passion, from who we truly are, from not being scared or afraid or holding back, from the courage and the trust, amazing possibilities are created, new outcomes are created, and that's when things can really take flight in our life. And you know, and everything is fluid. Even cancer is fluid. Everything's fluid. Anything can change, and you can change any situation, any aspect of your life, your health, your wellness, your abundance, your whatever it is. your love life, you can change it in an instant, just through your thought and intention and clearing out the fear and shifting into love. So that's important. Know your manifestation power. Know that anything is possible at any given moment. It's all up to you. Okay. So we've got two. We've got listen to your intuitive feelings and indigo. So they're saying the person you're inquiring about is an indigo, meaning a highly sensitive, natural born leader. So again, we have that leadership theme coming in. And this could be like your twin flame is an indigo, you are an indigo. You might have children around you that are indigos that are trying to show or teach you something. I think it's really important to honor our sensitivities. And I think sometimes we shut out our intuition because maybe we were told we were too sensitive as a kid, or we were taught not, to listen to that or to disobey that because of our programming, our wounding. This is really important to honor that sensitivity now, and also really listen to your intuition. That's how you're being guided at this time. And children might be chirping in your ear about, you might have kids, some of you might have kids that are chirping in your ear. I get this sense that like a child's going to look at you, say something to you, or you're going to observe something within a child that's really going to help you validate what you already knew intuitively within yourself. In the bottom of this deck is the law of attraction, which is what I was talking about earlier in this video. So it's just a confirmation that setting the time of intention early in the morning, creating the possibilities, getting clear around who you are is where everything opens up, and how we attract in our soul tribe, all possibilities without limitation. So it says relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of your energies. Yes, hello. So honor yourself. Do the things that you love. Do the things that bring you alive. And only do, if I could give you one piece of advice from something I've learned from my own healing journey right now, is only do what you love. We are taught this saying of, well, sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do, right? Now, I'm not saying that we need to be irresponsible. I want us to be responsible human beings. However, I do feel like you should only do what feels good to you in your life. And that this notion of, well, you must do what you must do, and sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. I mean, that's true, right? We got to clean our rooms when we're a kid. We got to pay our bills when we're an adult. But the truth is that everything else, outside of our responsibilities, and even inside our responsibilities, we can take the things that feel like chores to us and we can make them fun. I always tell my clients, like, I balance my checkbook every single day, and it's like a ritual for me, and I actually have fun doing it. So when I pay bills and stuff, it doesn't feel like drudgery work. Like, it's like in a geeky way, I get like excited about it, which is so funny. But like, even within the parameters of responsibilities, or maybe things that you don't want to do, you can create new feelings around it. You've got to find ways to make it fun for yourself. And then the rest of the time, the things that aren't responsibilities, even at work, you can make things more fun for yourself. So maybe you can't change that job today. Maybe you're working on that, but you can find new ways to show up at your current job in like a new light, or bring new lightness to that role or to that environment. And you can do things outside of work that really feed your soul and make you happy. And that's really important. That is truly how we attract what we want, is by doing more of what we love, by showing the universe what it is that we love so it can respond to us. And also, we don't want to go against our body and go against what feels good to us and go against our innate knowing of like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's okay to say no, and it's okay to just take time for yourself and explore. And it's okay to do the things that were forbidden to us as kids. maybe because you were told not to, or that was bad, or that was shameful. Do those things now. I feel like that's huge. I'm gonna grab the Ascended Masters deck. Just give me a moment. I don't think I'm going to go into a tarot spread. I think I'm just going to leave this as like a higher messages, higher being card pull. Whoa. Priorities. So that's the thing. We get bogged down by our responsibilities, like I was just saying. How can you make those responsibilities fun, and how can you prioritize fun in your life? Like, this is truly about shifting your priorities, meaning you as first. Your loyalty to yourself comes first. You having fun, you finding enjoyment, you self-caring. That needs to be the top of the new priority list. I feel like everyone's working on this right now. That's why we hear the buzz term self-care. But self-care is so much more than just like getting a massage or taking a bubble bath or, you know, being good to ourselves. And that way, it's really about just listening to yourself and following the impulses of what you want to do. Prioritizing what feels good to you and knowing what those things are and doing more of them is huge. It's huge for attracting your soul tribe, creating a new momentum in manifestation and the law of attraction, and showing the universe, and then the universe will respond to you. The old way, the obligations, the doing what we don't want to do, doing it because we have to. No, like I said, I'm not saying go quit your job tomorrow. What I'm saying is find a way to shift the energy now so you're doing more of what you like outside of work and you're showing up in a new way. Even if it's the work that you don't want to do in the present, you're able to show up in a new way and give something back or make it more fun for yourself. Find ways to do that. Find ways. For each person, it's going to be something different. Like for me, I'm working on giving myself the permission slip to have more fun, to not be so rigid with myself, to play and explore. It's so important while I go through this illness that I am able to do that and prioritize it. Okay? And I'm normally like a workaholic, so it's, you know, it's shifting my priorities too. So I understand it. I'm doing it as well. And it can feel uncomfortable at first, and it can feel, you know, it takes a while to break those old habits and to really shift the priorities around. But once you do, it's extremely freeing, and it creates all new possibilities in your life. Oh. So 3 cards just came flying out. Find blessings in your current situation. I feel like that's what I'm saying. Even if you're in a situation that you don't feel like you don't want to be in, or you're not where you want to be in your life, or you don't like that job, find the blessings in it. Change the energy around while you're still there, and find the gratefulness, and that's how you're going to be able to create the change. Positive change is coming. Parvati is saying, yes, there's positive change as you do this. And purifying, this feels like, you know, White Tara is just reminding us that purifying our thoughts away from, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, and into, let me dream up where I do want to be, let me do more of what I love. That's really going to help you in this manifestation and the law of attraction. Okay, so the bottom of this deck is follow your heart, and that's huge. Like they're saying, don't disobey yourself. Listen to your heart. Listen to yourself. And it's not the time to be listening to our logical minds. Our heart is our brain. Our gut is our brain. It's our intuitive center. Our third eye is our brain. But our brain, our logical brain, is usually our worst enemy. You know, we need that to make plans, to think, to be intellectual. And there's a time for intellect, but in the guidance of your own life, in the path to take, in the decisions to make about your life path and about what feels good to you, listen to your heart. Listen to your intuition. Okay, follow that. St. Francis coming through. All right, so I'm actually going to leave it at that. I love you guys, and I'm so happy to be able to bring this message for you, to have energy for it. Again, check out spiritualmaterialgirl.com. You can donate, and you can sign up on my email list if you want to get in on that prayer circle tomorrow. I look forward to connecting with you guys then. I love you so much. Mwah. Bye.